Hi everyone, Shannon with Apogee of the Moon coming at you with weekly forecasts. And this week we're going to go from August 29th all the way through to September 4th. So this is Saturday through Friday. So starting off in the weekend, ending on Friday. So I'm going to do something a little bit different this week. I'm going to pull up the chart and we're going to move forward. So I will do that and then we will jump in. So to start off the week, so to start off on Saturday on the 29th, we have Mercury trine Jupiter. And so this is a good aspect in terms of Mercury is direct, Mercury is strong in its home sign. Jupiter is debilitated in Capricorn. It is also retrograde, so it is weak, okay? So Jupiter right now needs all the support that he can get, and he's getting a really nice trine from Mercury in Virgo. And so what this is Mercury is offering its support. So this is Mercury giving Jupiter some details, because Mercury is about the fine details, and especially, I mean, we're still in that Leo new moon energy. We will be until we have the new moon at the end of September in Virgo. So you always have to keep in mind what moon cycle you're in, okay? So we are still coming out of that new moon in Leo. There's a little bit of a different flavor because we're going to have a full moon in Pisces, which is not in opposition to Leo. Now we're having the full moons before we have the new moons. So this is a time of releasing something that is old and stagnant and stale and starting something new. This is completing something before we dive into something that's brand new. So with this Mercury having been at the table in conversation with the sun at the new moon in Leo, it is now coming into a trine with Jupiter, offering Jupiter some details, some information. So what this means is that this can be more pieces to the puzzle. This can be more information that Jupiter didn't have. And this is asking you to pay attention to those details, to the finances, to the daily tasks, to the minute details and how it relates to the bigger picture of what's been going on and what's coming in for you. Because later in the month, Jupiter is also going to go direct. He's actually one of the first planets to go direct, those outer planets. Actually, he's going to be going direct on the 12th. So this energy of him also slowing down at this trine to Mercury, he is starting to station. Okay, so this means that he is getting ready to go forward. He needs to gather all the information that he can to go forward. And with this trine to Mercury, this is offering up more information, more details in order to gather that big picture energy. Okay, so there is that. And then, let's see, we need to go to Sunday on the 30th. Let's see, make sure that I have everything. Yep, so Venus is in opposition to Pluto on Sunday. And so Pluto is retrograde, Venus is direct. I don't like this energy. I don't like this combination because Venus is not as strong in Cancer as the fact that Saturn is conjunct Pluto at this point. Still, it's a few degrees away, but it's still Capricorn. Saturn in Capricorn is still really strong. It's its home sign. Venus in Cancer, she's not as strong in Cancer as she would be, say, if this were an opposition in Libra and Aries, right? This is still very much, she's not at home in Cancer. Venus does really well in Cancer, but it's not a home or an exaltation for her. So she doesn't function as well. This could see issues around home, family, safety, security. This could see issues about power and control in those areas of your life, or powers and control from, I mean, there's a lot of people working from home, so we could see power and control issues in terms of your work, in terms of what's going on in the bigger world, in terms of, you know, the higher ups and arguments and disputes and whatnot happening with your bosses at work, in terms of how you're conducting yourself at home. Or, you know, I mean, everybody's working from home now that can work from home. So there could be issues around maybe lag time, if you have power outages, if you have connectivity issues, if you have, you know, if you have any downtime, your bosses are going to take notice of this, and they're probably going to come at you with some, you know, feedback, right? Feedback. We'll leave it at feedback. So this could also see us trying to balance home and work, those of us that are working from home. This could see also people in our families belittling us or being manipulative in some way to try and get their way. And, you know, this is exploitation. This could also see people making unrealistic demands just to see how far they can push you. So that energy is coming exact on Sunday. I mean, nobody really works on Sunday in other parts of the world, though. You know, I live on the East Coast in the USA. In other parts of the world, this is Monday. So just be careful and be cognizant of that wherever you are in the world. So now on the same day, Mercury is in opposition to Neptune. So we have two oppositions that are happening. So this, what this is creating, I don't know if you can see this here. Hopefully you can see my mouse. You can see this is a waning aspect. Venus has come off her trine with Neptune, but it's in an it's still coming off, but it's Mercury is moving towards an exact sextile in trine with that Pluto energy in sextile with Neptune. So this is what's called a mystic rectangle. I don't know why it's mystical. It's just a couple of oppositions with some sextiles and some trines. So those two oppositions right there, right? And I'm flashing signs here. Just being silly, sorry guys. Get a little insight into my sense of humor, a little quirky. So this is offering up support. So there are supportive aspects in terms of these oppositions that are happening on the same day. So Mercury in opposition to Neptune, this isn't so bad in terms of just Mercury in opposition to Neptune, because Mercury rules Virgo, it's strong in Virgo. Neptune rules Pisces, it's strong in Pisces. And Neptune is retrograde. Neptune functions better when she's retrograde. She's more intuitive, she's more insightful, she's more creative. Okay, I like Neptune retrograde. Now, the opposition, however, is a very creative one, because they're used to being, the signs are opposing each other, right? So there's a balance that needs to happen in terms of your mind, your daily tasks, how you're thinking, those finite details, as well as that creative energy over in Pisces with Neptune there. So you may want to work on a creative project that you have. You may want to work on something that is going to bolster your creativity, because there are some really nice aspects between Venus and Mercury and Pluto. So for me, this energy is working on something that is challenging for you, working on something, maybe you want to get yourself out there. But for me, this energy really says a lot about being bold, being brave, okay? Because there is that opposition with Pluto and Venus, and you know, there's support. Okay, so this to me is, if you're working on a creative project, if you're an art person at all, if you work with color, this would be taking those really dark, those really deep, bold colors and kind of mixing in some crazy light pastels. I mean, that's just what came to mind when I saw this coming up this week. Now, this is also paying attention to the details of anything creative, like dance, film, anything artistic, because on the following let's see, this is on Sunday, so it's, let's see, Tuesday, 22. Okay, so on September 1st, we have Mercury trine Pluto. So coming off of that opposition to Neptune, that creativeness, it's almost like a continuation of the energy, just because now Venus and Mercury Mercury is coming closer to that approaching sextile with Venus in trine with Pluto. So this to me is showing where our creative outlets will have the biggest impact on our lives and on those around us, okay? So Venus has come off the exact aspect of being in opposition to Pluto. She's approaching the aspect with Saturn, so this is trying to ground down and get things situated in a very finite and calculated way, as far as I'm concerned. So this could be, you know, Pluto, Mercury trine. You know, this is good for marketing. This is really good at honing in on being exact on where you need to market, who you need to market to, and being very detailed and focused and obsessive about it, right? But this also, in the wider scheme of the world, just watch out for manipulation from the media. Watch out from, you know, the mainstream. They like to twist and turn things. The government likes to twist and turn things. I mean, not to get too political, you know, this could be picking your poison in terms of what you want to listen to and what you want to adhere to. Like, whatever you focus on in your life is what gets bigger, right? So I would say focus on the creative hobbies, focus on the creative endeavors, focus on the thing that lights you up the most, okay? So this is great for marketing your creative hobbies and endeavors to receive, you know, that maximum reaction, if that's what you're going for. If you're looking for a reaction, this is the time to do it. So then we move on to Wednesday, and nope, we gotta back it up just a little bit because I want to show you the exact, close to the exact. So let's see, so we'll do it here. So we have the full moon in Pisces, and I love moon in Pisces. This full moon is, however, seeing us, let's see, so you have the trine right up to Uranus retrograde. I love Uranus retrograde with the moon in sextile. So we have a full moon. It's making some aspects in sextile to Uranus, the freedom fighter, the liberator, the great wake up, the great shake up. So this full moon, instead of being in square like it was at the Aquarius full moon, it's creating positive aspects, harmonious aspects. So this is a great time for you yourself to harness that liberating energy, to harness your inner freedom fighter and stand up for what you believe in terms of, you know, where you need to understand the details and the creativeness of what's going on in your life. So this could be a push-pull from fantasy to reality, okay? Because Mercury, Virgo, very much detail-oriented, reality, practical, getting things done. Neptune, Pisces, the moon, our emotions, right? So full moons are very much high emotion times anyway. But this full moon in Pisces could see us trying to make especially in that trine and sextile to Uranus, this could see us trying to make the things that we've been fantasizing about, the things we've been dreaming about, the things that just would make us so happy and so complete. It could see us trying to make those reality, especially with Uranus there in the mix. So, you know, you got to balance your emotions because it is a full moon. You got to stay grounded in, you know, who you are with that more Virgoan quality of paying attention to the details. It is in a great, I mean, I like aspects to Uranus because Uranus is the weird and the different and the unique and the new and the future thinking and the scientific and all that, right? But it's so much more, excuse me, because Uranus can really help you move forward in a very unique and different way. It can be things even coming at you out of the blue, people showing up in your lives, people leaving your lives, if that's what you've been working on, you know, depending on where this full moon falls in your chart. This is kind of like shock and awe energy, but in a positive way versus the really crazy shake-up energy that we had with that full moon in Aquarius. So this is a more positive aspect in terms of the full moon with Uranus in positive aspect. So then we're going to move on to the next day. Let's see, Mercury is in trine. Let's see. No, we got to go a day. Sorry, I don't mean to. There we go. So we got to move backwards a little bit. Forwards, backwards. I'll show it the exact, here we go. So we do have Mercury at 25 degrees in Virgo and Saturn at 25 degrees in Capricorn. So what this is this is a positive from Mercury to Saturn. So they're both in their home signs. They're both very strong in what they're doing and what they know. Saturn is retrograde, he's reviewing. This could really see, I mean, this is a great time to get your paperwork filed. If you have to file any type of paperwork right now, this is a good time to do it. There is that grand mutable square, you know, grand cross square with the nodes, and it's not exact, but it will be exact on that day, the moon in opposition to Mercury. So it is a little bit of a tension point, but there are still positive aspects in terms of trines and sextiles throughout this. So the mystic rectangle is really going to help you alleviate a lot of that real harsh, heavy energy. And Mercury in trine with Saturn, this is evaluating the details and of owning where it is that you need to take responsibility for somewhere that you maybe slacked off, somewhere that you messed up, somewhere that you need to own up and you need to boss up, okay? So this is also still an evaluating energy with Saturn retrograde. This is evaluating the road ahead. This is evaluating where you need to get ready to take action when Saturn goes direct, to really boss up and own something, and maybe own a past mistake or own something going forward that you're trying to put out into the world or that you're trying to do. And making sure that you're following, you know, you're taking diligent steps every single day. With Mercury here, it's paying attention to those finite details. It's getting your paperwork in order, right? So to me, this is more paperwork oriented. This is more contractual oriented. This is commerce. This is, you know, that's the feel that I get from it. So then we're going to move to Friday. Sorry. And on Friday, we're going to have, it's going to be an interesting mix of energy because we're going to have Venus in square with Mars. Mars is pretty stationary right now. He's only got one more degree to go before he turns retrograde. So he is really slow. He's really thinking about things right now. His energy is really heavy, especially in square to all that other energy down in Capricorn. Now, Venus in square with Mars. Mercury is offering support to the feminine on this. And so what this says, I don't like this energy, especially because Venus has just come off those oppositions with all those other planets in Capricorn. And this, I mean, if you're going to be splitting up relationships, this is probably the time it's going to happen. This could be arguments and disputes on the home front. This could see people wanting to take action or taking action and being rash, and arguments and disputes on the home front between, mom and dad, or, the masculine and the feminine. This could see, in the broader spectrum of the world, this square could see a divide in terms of home, family, property. This could seem military, but Mercury on like the smaller scale in terms of people, this could see Mercury in sextile with Venus. This could see us evaluating the mental stability, right? The stability of our family, and where we need to look at the mental capacities and the intellectual, and kind of pull out of that really intense emotional struggle that we're facing, and really lean on more logic-based decision making instead of emotional reaction and temper. We could also see, like, the mind games that we play, and what got us into the situation to begin with. Sorry, my leg fell asleep. I was sitting in cross-legged for too long. And this is also, you can utilize squares. They're harsh aspects. They're meant for growth. But Mars is squaring Saturn by a few degrees, waning, but he's going to go retrograde and go backwards. So this forms a T-square. It's not exact, but it's still heavy energy. So just be careful out there, watch out for reactionary expressions or explosions of anger. Women especially need to be careful, because Venus, in Cancer, mothers, women, children, even, just be careful, be protective, be cognizant that there are bigger things at play. Okay, so that's the weekly forecast for next week. A lot of crazy energy, a lot of positivity coming in, with the mystic rectangle coming in. It's not exact, but it's supporting aspects with all this heavy energy. So there are opportunities, there are chances that people can take, as long as you're not reacting, as long as you're responding and you're staying grounded and staying centered. And coming from someone that has no planets in Earth in their chart, this has been a lesson for my entire life of staying grounded, staying in the present moment instead of thinking past or thinking future. So by all means, try to keep those emotions in check. Try to make sure that you're not just flying off the handle. Try to make sure that you're not speaking before you're thinking, right? So with all this craziness happening in the world right now, do what you can do to keep your mental sanity. And if that means that you need to unplug and just shut all the electronics off in your house, get out in nature, by all means, do that for yourself. Do what feels good for you to be able to center yourself and get yourself back in that equilibrium state with all of this craziness going on. So with that said, thank you, and stay safe. Have a great week, everyone.